Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Knuppel here, Knup Sports Show, episode 183. We are up to 183. I know it's been a while. I've been traveling, it feels like all over the United States. Spent some time at G2E in Vegas. It was awesome meeting several of you at G2E. I always love several of you saying you listen to this podcast. I mean, it means so much to hear I have a listener or two and people enjoy this show. So thank you for that support. We really appreciate the time. You could be anywhere listening to any show, but you choose to come here and digest some of this sports betting and sports business content that we put out here. And then I went over to SBC in Miami. That was another great event, the SBC Latino American event. Met a lot of people there as well. So awesome to meet all of you guys. Now I'm back at it. First show in a long time. So we have a treat for you guys today. Two special guests on with me today. Typically, I only have one, I know, but I got two today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Brad and Spencer Kronthal. Brad, Spencer, how are you guys?
Doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having us on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, really excited to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you guys. And like I said, I get a 2-for-1 special today. I get both of the Kronthal boys here to talk a little bit about Alloy and Alloy Sports. We're going to dive into that here in a bit. But first off, I want to get to know you guys a little bit and kind of what makes you guys tick. So we'll start with you, Spencer. Spencer, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're living, your background, all of the above.
Yeah, so I'm in Chicago right now, getting my MBA at University of Chicago, currently part-time. From Baltimore, Maryland, went to the University of Maryland growing up. I was an engineer by trade, always a massive sports fan, though, so that always was ticking, in the background, just trying to figure out a way to use that engineering background and apply it to sports. And working with Brad and our third co-founder, Seth, was able to make that happen with Alloy Sports.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Brad, how about yourself?
Yeah, just like Spencer, grew up a major sports fan, and I found myself in the industry. I worked for Masson in sports production, working on the Orioles games for 5 years, and then I moved to Monumental Sports in D.C., working on a sports betting show, so fully entrenched in the sports landscape, the industry, and the betting space.
That's amazing. And I got to ask, brothers, cousins, how are you guys related?
We're brothers.
Amazing.
We're brothers. We might not look the same, but we grew up same household. So that's the one thing we say about Alloy is no stone goes unturned. We are able to solve everything, and there's nothing that isn't said that needs to be said.
That's true. I love it, and I have a soft place in my heart for that as well. As you know, my brother Rodney is heavily involved in our business as well. So we're like working together all the time. So the challenges and the rewards that both come with that. You guys know that firsthand as well. Awesome. Well, amazing, guys. Let's dive into Alloy Sports. I want to hear kind of the pitch about what it is, where it came from, where it came about. So I'll let one of you guys dive in and kind of give the background on that.
Yeah. So Alloy Sports, how we started is we were big sports fans, and we were looking for a tool to do our own research. So basically, what we look to do is we look to take an engineering process that I had used in my experience as an engineer at Stanley Black & Decker and at University of Maryland, and figure out that applies perfectly to sports and sports betting, where if you can take the attributes that you think lead to winning a game, you can build a successful betting strategy around that. So what we've looked to do is take 10 years of historical data and make it so easy that anybody can work with and manipulate that data to build a winning betting strategy in under 30 seconds. So we have two platforms, our Quick Start, which gives you a streamlined version to build that first winning strategy, and then Alloy Pro with over 200 stats and filters to pick from. And we'll basically backtest the factors you think lead to winning, whether it's a strong passing team or maybe a team that forces turnovers on defense, and run that against the numbers to tell your win percentage, earnings over time.
Because, information is power, right? And understanding, what the trends have been, what the data shows. Obviously, you're not going to always win those bets, but it just gives you that little edge and that little advantage that you might need, because we all know sports betting is hard, and even getting up to some crazy percentage like 60% is hard. So any edge that you can get to further your wins is needed. So, let me ask then, you guys must have some sort of data mines and data interests, because this is very heavily in the data space around this. Tell me a little bit about your data interest and sports data backgrounds.
Yeah, so I would say our data interest really, propped up when StatCast became easily
Mm,
accessible and available for baseball in 2015. Working in baseball, analytics is, at the crux of what we do. It's involved in every game, every aspect, every story. And so that just becomes second nature. When you're looking up a player or a team, you're looking up the analytics behind it. So for us, when we were getting into the betting space, we were looking for a place to run the stats, but also see how they correlated to the odds really quickly, really easily. And there wasn't a place to do that.
yeah.
What we wanted to do is have big sports fans like us able to understand, the data. Some of it's not that easily digestible, and find a place to do that. So what we built is an app that lets you run the numbers yourself. You know everything that goes into it, unlike some
Hmm.
other sources that'll push out one algorithm and games. They're not going to tell you what goes into that. We're giving you the open box to where you know what goes into a strategy. We tell you the games that fit it and how it's performed in the past, and it's really easy to use.
That's amazing. That's awesome, guys. And I pulled it up here a bit ago. But tell me a little bit about, I guess, the customer base. Like who, because there's this certain crowd of sports bettors that probably has no interest in actually like thinking about what they're betting, and they're just out there like, oh man, I heard this is a good pick, or I'm watching this game, I just want to bet on it. But then there's another crowd, right? And that's probably the more of the crowd you guys are after. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the type of person that would need and use Alloy Sports.
Absolutely. So we're looking at the more casual bettor. Maybe you're betting weekly, maybe you're betting with friends, not necessarily the largest unit size, but the bigger sports fan. So you have an idea what leads to winning a game, whether or not you've, said this out loud, you think maybe good quarterback play leads to winning. Maybe you think it's a strong rushing team, or maybe it's a good shooting team that plays defense in basketball. Whatever those factors are, we all have an idea of what's most important. With us,
Yeah.
we're looking to bring that mindset to betting. So, people who are a little bit more analytical, have played around with the numbers, will get it immediately at first. What we're doing is we're simplifying it. So even the more casual, the newer bettor as well. Maybe you played fantasy football. Everyone's looking at some stats. We're making this accessible to them. So in 20 seconds, you can build a winning betting strategy that's historically profitable over anywhere from 2 to 10 years. It's really up to you to make that decision. So making it easier to use, making it streamlined, and basically condensing millions of data points into a platform where you don't need to code, you don't need to even, have a statistical background, but you can get that winning strategy. That's our goal, to target those people.
What sports are you guys currently available with? What sports?
So we just went live with NFL on our mobile app. We're looking to roll out NBA in the next month and a half, and then college basketball after that within the following month and a half as well.
I love it. And then obviously the sky is the limit as you guys continue to grow and continue to add sports and go through that. Have you guys, what's funny, because I've been in this space before and I've kind of played around with systems and strategies and things of that nature. And I want you guys' input on this, because I always find it amazing that you start going down this rabbit hole of like trying to find something that's like amazing. And a lot of times it kind of shocks you, right? You're like, what? No, this can't be right. And then you start looking behind, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a real trend. Like that is something that's really cool. And then when you really think about the psychology behind it, or like why it is, you're like, oh, kind of makes some sense. Have you guys found some of those situations as you guys just dive into this data that you're just kind of like, whoa, that's really cool, or like that's really neat?
We have. So we ran a beta in the spring with NBA, and the first thing we ran was 3-point percentage, looking at the better teams. And we honestly thought the system broke, because the way we break our results down, we break it down into buckets. Instead of just giving you all the results at once, we tell you how heavy favorites, close underdogs, and then heavy underdogs performed. All of them were in the negative. All of them were in the red. They all were losing money over time. And we thought the system broke, because when I'm looking at NBA, the first thing I think of to bet on is a team that shoots well from 3-point percentage. Well, that's what the
Right.
sports books and the odds makers are factoring in. So that was the first aha moment. And just coincidentally, we literally just looked at the inverse, saying, let's look at the worst 3-point shooting team coming into a game head to head. And the heavy favorites were hitting at 57% of the time, which was just
Wow.
crazy to us. Just one stat, one knowledge, knowing that here's what a sports books are factoring in and maybe overvaluing. And that's what a lot of people are betting on. So just taking that option and looking at that for 5 seconds might change your entire strategy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that type of stuff. I geek out over that stuff, like seeing something and then going down and then like obsessing over when that scenario is going to hit. But it sounds like your app is going to tell me. It's going to tell me exactly when that hits. So that's perfect, right? I mean, that's the point of what you're doing.
Absolutely. And we saw, something similar with the NFL data, where just going back the last couple of years, underdogs have been crushing it against the spread, where, we found different profitable strategies, especially close underdogs have been very profitable recently. Obviously, you can look back and see how has this affected over 10 years versus 2 years. What's great about our platform is we give you the flexibility for both. So if you want to look at that larger sample size and that's more important, great. If you want to look at recency, because maybe you think the game has developed and changed over time and 10 years ago isn't as relevant, you can do that as well.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So what's the future look like for you guys? I mean, I guess a multi-folded question here. What's the future look like? What are you guys looking to do? And maybe what are you looking for help with? Like, what people watching this show are leaders in this industry. They're people in iGaming and sports business. What type of help do you guys need to get you to the future, and what's that future look like?
Absolutely. So that future, we see, analytics pervading the space, making it easier to have data come into play. We saw that trend come around with the stock market and different industries as well, but it hasn't yet crept into sports betting, especially in the analytics space. What we're looking to do is make analytics easy, make it accessible for the casual fan, the casual sports bettor, and make it commonplace. Similar to what Moneyball did for sports as a whole, we're looking to take that to sports betting. So we're looking for different partnership opportunities right now with different companies. We can integrate our platform on site, to further that reach and help drive revenue for any partners. We're also looking to roll out additional sports. So across every sport, that's where we look to be able to bring that data-driven approach. Our goal is make our app as easy and intuitive as possible while also being the most powerful system that you can go to.
Amazing answer. Thank you. Thank you for that. So let's talk a little bit about the economics of it, or how somebody would sign up, how somebody would get to using this. We're actually going to pull back up the website and kind of walk through that. I think that's probably the easiest way to look at it. But I'll let one of you guys explain a little bit about how it works and how people can sign up, where they would go.
Yeah, so Alloy currently is live, free to download on the App Store. When you download our app, you have access to our quick start platform as well as our content, which is strategies that we've built. We also start you off with 2 preloaded strategies. One is our peanut punch strategy, focusing more on defensive turnovers, and others are road grader strategy, teams that are running the ball well, playing on the road as well. I think we had a nice pun on that one coming from Brad. So, but both strategies have been profitable over time. So we'll start you off with that. Now, once you get acclimated to, having this power at your disposal, our Alloy Pro subscription is currently $15 a month per month, or $120 for a year. And we'll start you off with a 30-day free trial. So you can check it out. You have access to basically our entire database of 200 stats and filters to build that ultimate winning strategy. But if you don't like it within 30 days, feel free to go back to Quick Start and keep using the system for free.
That's amazing. Alloysports.com. All that information's out there. Download the app. Check it out. It's pretty awesome. I've been playing around with it a little bit. These guys are awesome. Speaking of these guys, Brad and Spencer, I want to put you on the spot a little bit here before I let you go. You guys are young entrepreneurs, co-founders of a company, of a startup that's obviously looking to make big strides in this space. Each of you give me one of the biggest challenges that you've had. You as a company have had. Going through this journey, and I call it a journey because we all know it is a journey, starting a company. So, Brad, I'll start with you. Give me one of the biggest challenges that you guys have seen as you went down this path.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say a big challenge for us, but it's also a benefit, is working remotely. So the benefit is we're able to hire, a strong development team that's all US based all throughout the country of developers in Colorado and California. I'm in Baltimore and Spencer's in Chicago. So, that's great. The challenge is we're all kind of in our own silo. We communicate on Slack, and not having that physical presence at an office is a little bit different than, communication. Everything's just been a little bit more, it's a little different than if you're in person. So that's been one fun challenge that we've had to navigate. but it also reaps the benefits of, hey, we don't have to hire specifically in one city, one state, and find the best of the best and maybe overpay, but we have the access to really anywhere, prioritizing obviously US based developers.
I 100% relate with that as well. We do the same thing. Our content agency is all over the United States. On one hand, it's great. On the other hand, it's like, man, it would be so nice if we were all just right here talking to each other. But there's gives and takes of that. So thank you. That was I'm sure that's a challenge for a lot of people that work remote as well. Spencer, how about you? Do you have anything else that kind of comes to mind?
Yeah, I think, one thing when you're working on a startup is, there's always going to be the ups and downs as you go forward. The key is, keeping that flywheel, keeping that momentum, pushing forward. And one thing we've learned is having a strong team allows you to do that. Beyond us, our third co-founder, Seth Schulk, our CTO, Baltasar Jagavia, and our development team and our marketing team, we can all lean on each other, as we go forward, as well as an extremely strong, board of advisors. Wouldn't be what we are without a ton of help and support, and just being able to recognize and lean on those that are on the team and even on the team adjacent, is what keeps the ball moving forward. And that's what we're excited about. It brings the team together, makes everybody stronger, and keeps it moving forward.
I love it, guys. I love it. We'll keep up the good work. alloysports.com. I urge everybody listening to go out, check it out, get a hold of these guys. Speaking of getting a hold of you guys, how would they do that? Is there a best way to get a hold of the company or either one of you?
Absolutely. So you can email either of us. I'm Spencer at alloysports.com. Brad is Brad at alloysports.com. You can't remember that we've also got a contact us page on the website or on the app. So any mode works best for us.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on for sure. I hope to come back on episode 283 and have you on in 3 years when this is in every app, in everybody's hands, and it's helping people make money bet on sports, because we all know it's hard. And so this is just another tool in the tool shed to kind of help you win and make money at this game we all love, the game of sports betting. So hope to have you on. I appreciate your time today. Any last words, anything we missed that you want to touch on before I let you go?
No, I really appreciate it, Ryan. And I would say to all the sports fans and sports bettors out there, if you're betting, you want to win, right? So come onto our app. We let you build a strategy in under 30 seconds. You'll have the data to back your bets, and you'll feel confident and win over time. So when you bet, you want to win. So let's help you do that.
Amazing. Sounds good, guys. Spencer, Brad Kronthal of Alloy Sports. I really appreciate you guys being here. Until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That was Brad Kronthal, Spencer Kronthal, the co-founders, two of the co-founders of Alloy Sports. Super excited to have those guys on. I really appreciate you guys all tuning into this as well. We'll have full show notes with this episode that will actually have links to all of this that we talked about. We'll have the emails and everything in there in case you were trying to hurry and scribble those down. We'll have all those in the show notes, and we'll go from there. So hopefully everything's going with you. This was episode 183. I'm Ryan Knuppel. You can find me out on any social media if you want to get a hold of me. Until next time, stay safe. I know I am. It's like hurricane weather here in Orlando, Florida, but all is good currently. So we'll hope the wind just blows on by. But for you, hopefully you're staying safe where you're at. Take care and enjoy this awesome sports world. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great one.